for three. Swing and a bouncer. This could be it. Davis runs to the bag. Game is over. No-hitter. Astros win the championship. What a way to do it. A no-hitter. Mike Scott has just thrown his first career no-hitter, and the Astros are the National League champions of the West.
Fly ball, left field. Polonia over, on the line, waiting. A's win, A's clinch. The A's are the Western Division champions of the American League for 1988.
A ballard is a bird with a golden wing. Clark, bar none, has the hottest swing. We'll review Major League movies of our grand old game. Of course, Field of Dreams is one by name. All this and much more on the City Court Pennant Chase. A record 20-21. It's the latest in a baseball season that an under 500 team has ever been in first place. The once dominating American League East has turned into the American League least. Out west, the big story is Oakland. The A's, a club that raced to the head of the pack with manager Tony La Russa riding the reins. But in the series opener against Boston, it was Dwight Evans who helped the Sox come up a winner in the 10th inning. A grand slam of Dennis Eckersley helped Boston to a 7-4 triumph in a rematch of last season's American League Championship Series. But this time, the A's fell short. Like a true champion, Oakland created a bit of Saturday silence in Boston's bats with an easy-going pitching performance by starter Dave "Smoke" Stewart, who improved his record to 8-1 for the season in a stallion-like outing. Mike Gallego made like a Shetland pony in inning number 2, small but with lots of power. A home run that helped Oakland charge to the finish line with a 6-3 win. It was Mike's first home run of the season. Golden State Warrior basketball coach Don Nelson on hand to throw out pitch number 1 prior to Game 3. And Red Sox starter Roger Clemens fired a few long shots of his own. Ron Hasse assisted Oakland's cause with this homer in the bottom of the 4th. And Dennis Eckersley converted the save, his 14th of the year, as Mike Greenwell grounds out to Mark McGwire. The A's wind up taking 2 out of 3. The Yankees, they faced a team that would be in first place if they were in the Eastern Division, the Seattle Mariners. But Dallas Green's club scoffed at that idea in Game 1. Third baseman Mike Pagliarulo went 3 for 5, including this third-inning single that scored Don Mattingly. And it also scored former Mariner Ken Phelps to help give New York a 5-3 lead. Then reliever Lee Gooderman saved his 6th, increased his scoreless inning streaks to 29 and 2/3 innings. But signs of change caught hold in Game 2. Manager Jim Lefever's club was sparked by a great first-inning catch by Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey also produced with his bat.
Ken Griffey Jr. has put the Mariners ahead with a 3-run shot off Dale Mahorsek.
The story in Game 3 was the series of Yankees youth. Rookie Clay Parker hurls a complete Game 5 hitter. He struck out 10. And catcher Bob Guerin collected 3 RBIs, belting only his second Major League home run to give New York a 5-0 lead. Guerin hit his first home run just the day before. But again, it was young Griffey who spoiled Clay Parker's bid for a shutout with this hot shot that bounced off Roberto Kelly's glove in the 9th inning. It scored 2 runs. It was ruled an inside-the-park homer, but only served as a Seattle crowd pleaser because the Yankees won the game and thus the series. Time for our Citicorp success story. Citicorp, the 25-year-old right-hander, improved his record to a most successful 7-1 with a victory against the Cleveland Indians. Ballard off to the best start for any Oriole pitcher since 1976. Pitcher Rick Russell was certainly hot in a big way.
The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, ball strike 3, and Russell strikes out the side.
Russell's record now 7-2. In the American League, the booming bat of White Sox slugger Harold Baines has produced a .350 batting average.
Harold Baines rips one, and it got out in a hurry.
He's also driven in 24 runs. And Giant slugger Will Clark is red hot with a major league leading average of .372.
It is a textbook swing. The big kid out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
And now from who's hot to who's not so hot. First baseman Don Mattingly of the Yankees, he's accustomed to hitting well over 300, but he's batting a frustrating .252 and has yet to hit his first home run.
Knows what he's doing wrong, but it's not that easy to correct.
And shortstop Alan Trammell of Detroit has been in a similar funk. Trammell batting .248, 2 home runs, and only 8 runs batted in.
You don't see Alan Trammell swing at pitches that bad very often. That pitch wasn't even close.
Another veteran, Fernando Valenzuela of the Dodgers, has struggled to regain semblance of his former greatness. 16 consecutive starts without a victory. Grab hold of your seats, fans, because it's time to take a completely captivating look at silly flings and some cool offbeat kind of things. But the Mets have managed to make their share of headlines too. They've been searching for offensive help to replace Keith Hernandez and Gary Carter, both injured. But the absolute constant for New York has been their pitching staff. Well, this splendid staff this week was racked for 15 runs in 3 games against the San Francisco Giants. So let us begin with San Francisco's power surge into Fun City, a place that's been a deathbed for many past Mets opponents. And in Game 1 of the series, New York showed why.
Here's Strawberry, he belts it into right field, and it's out of here.
Strawberry's Big Apple blast tied the score at 2 in the 6th inning. Then Roger Craig's club laid an egg in the 10th when Goose Gossage walked home the winning run. Final score, 3-2 New York, as an old Yankee bit the bullet. Some old Mets, the '69 Miracle Club, gathered prior to Game 2 to play an old-timers game, but Will Clark spoiled the thrill for Met fans.
A high drive into deep right field, and that one is gone. Oh, what a hitter this guy is.
And the very next batter was Kevin Mitchell, a former Met. He wasn't big on Met reunions either. Back-to-back home runs. And longtime Met nemesis Mike Krukow, a former Phil, improved his lifetime mark against New York to 21-7. The next day, another former Met, Roger Craig, allowed his club to continue the bash.
Hit high and deep to left. Out of here. Home run, Rob Thompson.
That tied the score at 4. But the darling blow that hammered the Mets into submission belonged to Terry Kennedy, who delivered a bases-loaded pinch hit double in the 7th inning that cleared the bases. And the streaking Giants took 2 out of 3 from New York to move to within a half game of first in the Western Division. Next, we feature the save specialist supreme of San Diego's Padres, a pitcher manager Jack McKeon points to when he needs someone to fire on the mark. Speaking, of course, about former Phil, Mark Davis.
2-strike pitch, 5-4 San Diego. And the pitch.
Struck him out. Mark Davis, what a job. Padres win it 5-4 in a dramatic finish.
Flashy finishes have been Mark's specialty thus far this season. He collected 13 saves in 13 opportunities, a save total that ranks at the top of the league. But Davis credits his teammates for much of his success. Their steady defensive play has been an important factor in converting threatening situations into saves. So Mark concentrates on making his opponents put the ball in play.
My defense has always played well behind me since I've been in San Diego, so I just try to go out there and start things. I just want to throw the ball over the plate and let them hit it to my defense and let them make the plays.
Mark, of course, started his career here in Philadelphia, where he was compared to another left-hander by the name of Steve Carlton. Perhaps that's an unfair comparison to make for Davis, who was only 20 years old at the time.
Once I left the Phillies, it was not used. And that was good for me because then I could be Mark Davis. If Mark Davis doesn't strike out 10 guys a game, that's fine. But when Steve Carlton struck out 10, that was normal for him.
In 1983, he was beginning to bridge the gap between potential and real success when he was traded to San Francisco. He was used there as a starter and a relief pitcher. But despite often impressing his teammates,
Mark Davis is awesome.
he still had yet to reach his full potential. And so 4 years later, he was traded to the San Diego Padres.
It was a blessing in disguise. I was happy at the time, though I would never want to ask for a trade. It was something that I think that helped me because I was starting new somewhere else.
Now he's used strictly in relief, and his breaking ball has become menacing.
I would say that the most dominating pitch he has is his curveball. And he sets enough hitters up that with that curveball that they're either looking for the curve and he shoots a fastball by him, or they just can't handle a curveball.
A combination of pitches that has proved both successful. Last season, he saved 28 games. And with the same sound, fundamental approach, he's continued to slap home save after save.
I try to approach it like every game is a new game. Even if the situation that I come into is the same as the night before, different things can happen, obviously. So I just try to make everything simple. Throw the pitch in a good location and try to get ahead of the hitter and get the first hitter I face out.
Although the name Davis is quite common in the majors, there's only one when it comes to relievers. Time now to reopen the scrapbook on a memorable moment that occurred this week in baseball history. Harvey Haddix of the Pittsburgh Pirates faced the Milwaukee Braves. He hurled 12 perfect innings, yet still fell to defeat. 19,000 fans flocked to the ballpark in Milwaukee and watched the man nicknamed the Kitten pitch with the heart of a lion. The contest continued as a perfect game until the 13th inning.
Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball deep right center. That ball may be on through and over everything. It is gone. Home run. Absolutely fantastic.
Joe Adcock's blast cost Haddix a no-hitter and a ball game. A disappointing defeat, to say the very least.
It's quite a letdown, I'll say that, but we were just out there trying to win the game, and as far as the no-hitter was concerned, I realized it, but I just wanted to win the game.
He'd have done it 20 innings, we probably still wouldn't have scored for him.
One of the toughest luck finishes ever.